Dear students, today we are going to see about the religion, caste, classes and their changing dimensions. We have studied in detail about these three social institutions, religion, caste and class in our earlier topics. Let's quickly recall the definitions of these three. Religion in simple terms is a collection of beliefs and cultural systems that relates to humanity, to the supernatural and moral values. It is a bond between human and God. Can anyone guess the total number of religions in the world? There are roughly around 4,200 religions in the world. Caste is one of the social groups in which members do similar occupation, follow similar traditions and lead similar lifestyle. Castes can be thought of as a subset of religion. Class is one form of social stratification. The group of people with similar status who shares comparable levels of power and wealth is called a class. In general, there are three classes: the upper class, the middle class and the lower class. These have changed over years gradually, and because of this, the society has changed. Now, let us discuss in this session how these three social groups have changed over the years and what the impact of this in our life is. Religion, the changing dimension. So, students, when we talk about religion, it is our gods and spiritualism that come up to your mind. When I ask some of my friends about their religion and their values, most of them would say, my childhood was not one with a lot of religious or spiritual influence. My grandfather is a priest, but neither of my parents are all that religious. My siblings and I used to go to temple until we were old enough to decide we didn't like it anymore. That was the extent of my religious experience growing up, and I hardly remember it. These type of responses are quite common. I would say this was mostly due to the transition over the years, and this is what I call religious transition, where the spirit of religion has been diluted. We often encounter such instances daily. To know about the present, we must have an idea about the past. Now, let's discuss about the origin of religion in our country. We all know that Hinduism is the oldest religion in the world, with origins perhaps as far back as to the prehistoric times, or I believe somewhere around 5,000 years. Brahmanism was the most ancient form of Hinduism. Hinduism's origins include cultural elements of the Indus Valley civilization and other Indian civilizations. The kinship of the religions of India stems from the fact that Jains, Buddhists and Sikhs look back to Hinduism as their common mother. Everyone would have learnt during our school time that Buddhism was found by Gautam Buddha, while Sikhism by Guru Nanak. These religions are said to be evolved from the ancient Hinduism. Many foreign religions such as Christianity, Islam, Zoroastrianism also spread into India. The works of scholars and Eastern Christian writings claim that Christianity was introduced to India by Thomas the Apostle, who visited Muziris in Kerala in 52 AD and baptized Kerala's Jewish settlements, who are now known as St. Thomas Christians, also known as Syrian Christians or Nasrani today. Although we are still unclear about the exact origin of Christianity in India, it is believed that Christianity was rooted in India by the 3rd century AD. Islam came to India in the early 7th century and the advent of Arab traders. It started to become a major religion during the Muslim conquest in the India. Islam's spread in India mostly took place under the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire from the year 1526 to 1858, which was greatly aided by the mystic Sufi tradition. After that was the advent of the British era, which was accompanied by communalism. Now, communalism has played a key role in shaping the religious history of modern India. As an adverse result of the British Raj's divide and rule policy, the British India was partitioned along religious lines into two states: the Muslim majority dominion of Pakistan and the Hindu majority in the Union of India. The missionary societies that came into the British is the early century imported along with the modern concepts of print media and propaganda an ideology of intellectual competition and religious conversation. Hence, many people started converting their religion, thus diminishing the scope of ancient form of religion. Adding to it was the concerns about religious godmen and philosophers who made a breakthrough in religion and spiritualism on anti-Christianity. One of the most important reactions was the Arya Samaj, founded in 1875 by Swami Dayananda, which went back to the Vedas as the ultimate revealed source of truth and attempted to purge Hinduism of more recent accretions that had no basis in the scriptures. Originally active in Punjab, this small society still works to purify Hindu rituals, converts tribal people, and runs centers throughout India. Other responses include the Ramakrishna Order of Renunciants established by Swami Vivekananda during the year 1863 to 1902, which set forth a unifying philosophy that followed the Vedanta teacher Shankara and other teachers by accepting all paths as ultimately loaded towards union with the undifferentiated Brahmin. One of the primary goals of the Ramakrishna movement has been to educate Hindus about their own scriptures. The movement also runs bookstores and study centers in all major cities. Both of these paths are directly modeled on the institutional and intellectual forms used by the European missionaries and religious leaders. This long evolved process of progress and opposition in the field of religion and one's spiritual sentiments has led to a drastic change to the dimensions of religion. Changes in caste system. As of now, we have been learning about religion. In this session, let us learn the concept and factors responsible for caste system. We have now understood the existence of the caste system. Though it has been there from the very early years of Indian history, there has been tremendous changes. Let me first list out the conditions and factors which are responsible for the continuance of the caste system. They are geographical isolation, foreign aggression, structure of the rural society, influence of religion, difference of race, lack of education. Let us now see each one of these in detail. Geographic isolation. What does geographical isolation mean? For example, a group of people are isolated from the other parts of the society. Imagine somewhere around 5,000 people living in one of the hills of the Western Ghats. They develop their own customs, traditional values, superstitions, etc. They are not prepared to accept within the superiority of others. They prefer to marry within their group and follow similar patterns of style. These factors are responsible for creation and continuance of the caste system. Static society. If we take Hindu society, there were not many changes for ages. Hence, the traditions, values have become stronger and the caste system has grown powerful. The society becomes static and it loses its progressive character. Since its changing character has become more or less motionless, the caste system has become quite powerful. It influences various aspects of the Hindu social life. Foreign aggression. Let us now take an example. In a particular school, in a standard 6, 5 new students were enrolled. What will happen? These 5 students will form a group and the other students will try to form their own group. This is what happened when Aryans came to India. The Dravidians tried to keep themselves away from them. This resulted in foreign aggression has attributed to the strength and continuation of the caste system. This resulted in the formation of 2 classes of castes. The 2 castes, that is Aryans and the natives, after some time started mingling and this gave birth to too many new castes. Structure of the rural society. The structure of the rural society is such that it encourages the caste system. In fact, the rural society is static in nature. The non-changeability is responsible for the creation of caste and strengthening of the caste system. Influence of religion. Religion is the most important factor which have contributed in the existence and development of the caste system, particularly in the Hindu society. The caste system is regarded as a thing of divine origin. Because of this religious sanction, the institution of caste system has not only existed but also gained strength during all these years. Difference of race. We have difference in the races. Discrimination is practiced even in the modern society of America. There is discrimination between blacks and whites. This type of distinction was present in ancient India as well as in the medieval India. In India, Aryans and Dravidians belonged to two races, and during trail period it was Hindus and Muslims as regarded members of two different races. This discrimination gave strength to caste system of the Hindu society. Lack of education. Now, lack of education or illiteracy leads to belief in tradition, customs, superstitions, etc. All these factors are responsible for caste system and different other types of discrimination and distinctions. In Indian society, particularly the rural society, there has been a lack of education. Because of this weakness, people were guided by the superstitions, customs, traditions, etc. These things contributed a lot to the existence and strengthening of caste system. If caste system exists in this country, even today it is only on account of low percentage of education. Due to lack of education and literacy, people are not able to acquire scientific outlook, and lack of scientific outlook leads to belief in caste system. We all know that there is an ever-changing situation in the caste system. Let's now discuss the conditions that do not favor the caste system or modern trend of the caste system. In India, caste system is to be found even today. In spite of certain factors that are unfavorable to the institution of the caste system also exists in this country. Because of these factors, various changes have taken place in the caste system. This caste system has in certain respects become more powerful in free India. The factors that are unfavorable to the caste system and have also brought about certain changes on the structure of the caste system. The domains of changes are education, freedom struggle, political consciousness and election, industrialization, change in the economic structure of the society, importance of wealth, class consciousness, movement of social emancipation and the protection granted to the scheduled castes and backward classes, increase in means of communication, new laws against practicing untouchability and modern legal structure, emergence of new social and economic classes. To speak about caste, it does not continue to be same in all places. It differs between each region. Let us have a look at the caste system in Indian villages. The caste system is more to be found in the Indian villages than in the Indian towns. It does not exert the influence it once exerted, but it is still an important factor in the rural social order. It also influences the Indian rural life. Its influence in the Indian rural life may be seen as caste system and the economic life, caste system and the joint family structure, caste system and the education, caste system and political life, caste system and value patterns. The problem of casteism. The caste system has changed its pattern. Restrictions that went with the caste some time ago are getting relaxed. In spite of it, it cannot be said that the caste system has come to an end. It will undergo further change in the future. It will completely vanish only when the democratic values get deep-rooted and the country makes good deal of economic progress and industrial advancement. Then new political and economic structure will emerge and it will change the pattern of the caste system. Now, let us discuss the transformation of class system from ancient times to the modern day system. The class system in ancient India was very different from the caste system seen today, even though the latter arose from the former. Its major characteristic was its linkage with vocation and not with birth or family, as is the case in modern world. When people talk about the term status, it is directly or indirectly means an individual's lifestyle and livelihood. And it is a commonly known notion that people of superior status don't mingle with the people of inferior status. For example, generally, the rich do not share the circle of peers with the downtrodden. If this is the present day situation, imagine the past. That is, in olden days, the rich, highly educated, who were generally Brahmin scholars, do not mingle with their poor, uneducated counterparts. This line of separation led to what is known as class system. This system, also known as the Varna system of a social division, divided the society on the basis of one's vocation and profession. We have learnt about this in our earlier sessions, the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and the Shudras. The notion of untouchability also existed in this class system, where the Shudras were totally ignored and avoided at public meetings and gatherings by the upper classes. They were denied respect in the society. This practice of untouchability still exists in rural parts of India. The lower class people are not allowed into temples. Till now, we saw the way the class system was established in olden days. We'll now see the changes that happened in the modern era. Nowadays, there is a large division of class. The once officially forward and backward class is now subdivided into upper class, upper middle class, medieval class, lower middle class and lower class. Another change to class system nowadays is that these are referred with respect to the financial stability of the individuals. Upper class refers to the people belonging to the rich families. As the class division goes down, it could be seen that the person's financial status is low. This kind of division based on the economy of families mean that the perspective of changes in a person's class is determined by his earnings. For example, a lower class member in all respect gets the dignity of the upper class if he manages to earn wealth and prosper in the long run. In today's world, the difference in class or on religion is not considered a big issue, as was with the ancient time, because all are treated equally under law. Everyone has the right to get his share of respect and to be dignified in his own way. Impact on society. As we all know, to every movement there is an effect on the society. For instance, think about a misconception or difference of opinion between two people of different religions, or say upper and a lower caste. Since unlike olden times, everyone can fight for his rights. The misunderstanding may lead to verbal dispute, which may in turn aggregate into violence or conflict. If this is what happens between two people, then imagine the effect of impact on a whole nation, with each group fighting over its rights, claiming superiority. Another aspect of individually divided groups is that each group wants a majority index of people. This initiates the fad of religion conversation. This increases the vote bank, where the party contestants aim at winning the majority supported party. We can hear news about riots at public areas by party commissions when one party wins over the other. This could be the base to initiate terrorism, where the only aim of the terrorists would be to destroy anyone who is against their notion. Every religion was formed to safeguard people by the method of peace and non-violence, but the urge to light is so much so that the good preachers and sayings of the religion are forgotten. Only the need to gain supremacy comes into view. This also means that the basic perception of the religion is misunderstood. Another aspect of changing religious trends is the superstitions in the name of religion. The ancient practice of sati, for example, in which a widow is forced to jump in the funeral pyre of her husband, although officially banned by the government, plays an important role in the rural India. This barbarian practice is still not forgotten by the religion-conscious village heads. These kind of blindfolded act not only kills a life but also brings shame to the nation. Of late, in addition to all these, there is uprise of false religions, godmen, who claimed to have attained the godly aura of wisdom by showcasing few tricks to make the world believe them. This mere intention of these false saints earning money could indirectly result in ignorant people being cheated in the name of religion. The impact of caste-dominated trend is prevalent even in educational field. The initiative of government to establish more educational opportunities and exposure to socially backward classes and to the tribal population has taken up an evil turn. It has led to duplication in certificates, For instance, if a student belonging to forward community ends up getting lower scores than the acceptable range fixed up by the government, the students opt for falsely attested certification of his or her caste. Here, caste is merely for the sake of college admissions and employment opportunities. It is a very unhealthy trend evolving among the young generations. In this session, we saw the changes in religion, caste system and the evolution of various classes. It's time for us to conclude on the ongoing issues on the ever-changing pattern. In the first session, we saw the establishment of various religions in India, how Hinduism gave rise to other prominent religions. We even saw how religions like Christianity and Islam made its way to India. Religion has an important role to play in each one's life. As I did mention earlier, religion on a broader sense gives a different meaning. It was formed for the welfare of people, for them to follow certain principles and conduct on the humanity basis in view to maintain peace and harmony. But nowadays, it has taken the principal issue to break a conflict. I would say ignorance is the main reason for the growth of all these issues which practices unlawful methods in the Indian society. The spirit of religion has been exploited by various groups, organizations for their own selfish needs. Hence, we could say that the notion of religion and spiritualism has deteriorated among common public. The prime reason for building up religion is being forgotten all over the world. Next, we learnt about the changing dimension in the caste system. As we all know, caste is the division of religion. This term was formulated by various groups of people for their own convenience. We saw how caste system was anciently formed in India. Then we discussed how it changed in various domains. Third, we saw the divisions of classes, its importance among various groups of people. We even studied the changes that happened over years. And finally, we saw the social impact of all these three. Social impact of anything is the result of misuse of a certain concept which isn't acceptable by anyone. Let's conclude by saying every issue must be considered on a humanitarian basis rather than on a religious means. Let's make our nation a better place to live in by considering these points.